One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Don Imus, of course, far and away the biggest influence in my career, far and away. So I reached out to both of them, and they both may be here in October. Maybe one, maybe none, I don't know. But either way, they were both very, very happy and very, very nice. And Wyatt, of course, has been on this show twice before, so he's got this business now. He has these show horses, and he's named one of these show horses Empire Sid for New York, Empire State of Mind. He sent me a picture of Empire Sid just a couple of days ago. I know that Bo Dietl has bought into one of these horses. I'm trying to get Vinny Viola and others to do the same. So Wyatt's got a big business at that Imus Ranch down in the state of Texas. But something says to me that Wyatt may have the itch to do what his father did. You know, I asked Gabriel last week, I go, Gaby, what is it down to? He's a junior in high school. He likes AI. He loves AI. He's going to get a job this summer doing AI. He's thinking about politics, and he's thinking about radio, like his dad. And so I keep wondering why, Wyatt, I know you've got a big business with the horses. You're running that ranch, you and your mom down in Texas. But you're great on the radio, and your dad was one of the all-time best. There's no part of you, Wyatt, that wants to do radio sometime in the future?
Well, I don't really know. I mean, I've thought about it a little bit, but first of all, I'd like to say, man, the New York State Broadcasters Hall of Fame. How about that, huh? Congratulations.
How about that?
I bet all those angry emails from the I-Man, you never thought you'd be here.
What do you mean emails? On the air, right there for a whole New York audience to hear. He would beat the living daylight. Now, look, don't get me wrong. He would be very sweet after at times and call me and say, I was just kidding. But he beat me up pretty good, and it turned out to work out very, very well. Do you remember those days?
The only reason he'd call you and apologize is because Deirdre would walk in there after and say, "Hey, you gotta lighten up on Sid here. He's gonna jump off a bridge or something. You gotta call him and apologize."
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Your mother did come up big for me, no question about it. But look, as I said, your dad had this huge influence on me, and he's gone. I guess December was 6 or 7 years already, right?
Yeah, December was 6 years.
6 years, right? It's a long time. So. And the longer he's gone, the more I start to think about things and realize things and remember things that he did along the way, which I do use as part of my act. So, I want you and your mother to know that I appreciated your father, and me going to the Hall of Fame in October, you guys were all a part of it.
Yeah, he'd be really proud of you, and, I mean, it's a huge deal, and who'd have thought, it's kind of like those scenes in Rocky, when you got an Apollo Creed beating the hell out of Rocky, and then, you think it's all going to be worth it, and then one day, he wins. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, exactly. And it did turn out to be all worth it. So that's an exciting day coming up in October. But, listen, you and I were talking a couple of days ago about politics, too, and, you got you got plenty of psychos down there in the state of Texas, but I know you keep an eye out on New York. You'll always be a New Yorker, right? You spent so much time as a child here with your parents, and you see what's going on with Mom Donnie. So what are your thoughts, Wyatt Imus, on New York and what seems to be this communist takeover around the country?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was born in New York Hospital. Actually, the only Imus that officially is a real New Yorker. And
that's true. You're right. Your father was California, right? And your mother was where?
Connecticut.
Connecticut, right.
Raised in Connecticut, yep.
Right.
My dad was born in California and then grew up in Arizona, Prescott. Anyway, no, but I watch, I listen to you, obviously, so I was hear you screaming and everything, and I think one of the biggest issues you guys have with Mom Donnie is, well, he's a socialist, and he's pushed all the big businesses out. So, what's going to happen with that is, he'll like Margaret Thatcher said, one of the biggest problems with socialism is you run out of everybody else's money. So, he'll run out of everybody else's money, and then by the time he needs some, he'll have sent everyone away that is a high net worth taxpayer. You can't cut police. You guys can't afford to do that, and I think somehow, whether you have to run after your Hall of Fame induction or whether you can get Blakeman elected, you guys somehow got to beat Hochul. So, got a lot of issues coming up here with Mamdani in the state of New York, and somehow you have to rally the troops and try to keep people from leaving.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to your state. So, I mean, you're the one who gets you and Florida and South Carolina and Tennessee and all those states. You're the guys that get all of our folks, the good folks that are running out of this state, end up by you. What do you think your father would be saying about Mamdani these days?
I think he'd be saying a lot of the similar things you're saying. It's just, he was famous for he liked to be critical of everybody,
right?
Kind of his thing. But I think he'd be critical of Trump. You can't. They famously had those wars in the '90s and stuff, even though they were good friends. But I mean, you can't be praising Mamdani when you got Democrats projected to win everywhere. You have Republicans are not projected to win. Mamdani's not doing a great job. He's a communist. The juxtaposition to his speech for the 250th and Trump's were just ridiculous. His was doom and gloom, looked like a hostage tape.
Right.
I think he'd be extremely critical. He'd be saying a lot of the same things you're saying, and he'd be trying to get somebody elected who can go in there and clean it up, whether that's Blakeman or who.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, the only difference between me and your father is that I draw the line at blubber titties, as you know. So
I think that's where he lost Trump a little bit. But
no,
well.
He didn't. Wyatt, he didn't lose him a little bit there. He lost him forever right there. That was it. That was it.
I'll tell you something interesting was Deirdre went down to Mar-a-Lago last year.
Yeah.
With the current ambassador of Belgium, Bill White.
Yes, my favorite homosexual, Bill White.
Yeah, my dad affectionately called him the Rear Admiral.
I know Trump was happy to see your mother. Trump loves her.
Oh, yeah, so happy to see her. And, sang the high man's praises, which, I mean, he's dead, so if he didn't, that'd be a little
right, that'd
weird,
be pretty rough. But I can tell you this, dating back to October 7th, 2024, 1 year to the day of the awful massacre in Israel. We did the show that day. Justin was with me in this little town, Wyatt, called Sderot, which is right outside of Gaza. And that town got obliterated. They actually wiped out the whole police department, killed every cop, burned down the precinct, raped and murdered people all over that town. And we did our show for the 1 year commemoration from this little radio station there in the town. And Trump called in. It was very, very nice. And he spent about 40 minutes with me. And we got into the conversation about Imus and Stern. And he asked me specifically, he said, you worked with both of those guys. How were they? So he did not have bad things to say about your father, but he was very, very upset with Howard Stern. Tell me this, because when your dad was winding it down, he would say, me and him would do this bit every day. I'd ask him questions about his career. Then I would say, man, are you okay talking about Stern? And he said, sure. And he did. To his credit, he did. He didn't get angry. He talked about Stern. I never got the feeling that Imus, your dad, hated Stern as much as Stern hated your father, kind of like the Yankees and the Red Sox. What do you think your dad's real opinion was on Howard?
He could have cared less.
Yeah.
I mean, all the years he was alive, we never talked about him in the house. Never. He never came up. He never talked about him in an angry way. And, if people would ask, who's your Mount Rushmore of radio legends, right? He'd put himself, obviously.
Right.
He's got those Marconis.
He's got 5 of those, I know. I don't have 1. He's got 5, so he's good up there, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Well, he's got 4, but we'll call it 5. And, he'd say the late, great Wolfman Jack, Jack Benny, and then Howard Stern.
Yeah, so Stern fourth. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's no exact order. It's just those are the 4 up there. But he had no problem giving him his credit. I think it was more of a one-sided issue. But, I'm sure back in the day, my dad did enough things to needle it a little bit.
I'm sure.